Arcomusical is deeply grateful for having had the opportunity to work with 6 highly skilled, sincere, and delightful composers at the University of California, Davis, each of whom brought their unique voice and musical vision to this ACI digital residency. Through the pandemic, we had the ability to stretch this project out for an extended period of time, first meeting with the composers on May 13th, 2020. This slow process of development offered the composers the opportunity to familiarize themselves with the Berimbau's musical possibilities, as well as with its rich cultural traditions in African and Afro-Brazilian practices. Over these past 10 months together, we developed meaningful collaborative relationships with our new friends at UC Davis. Each composer engaged with us through a series of workshops and then a series of interactive rehearsals, and each composition went through several instantiations before arriving at its final form. What you're about to see and hear, then, is the result of a slow process of unfolding, organically, like the growth of the tree at the bank of the river of time's passing. We want to thank Sarah, JD, Jacob, Joe, Orkun, and Paul for their wonderful new works. And we also want to thank everyone at UC Davis who supported this ACI digital residency. We enjoyed working with all of you very much.
My name is Juan Diaz, and I am Assistant Professor of Ethnomusicology at UC Davis. First, I'd like to thank Greg Bayer and his group Arcomusical for performing my piece and those of our excellent composition students at UC Davis. I'm also grateful for the wonderful work they're doing to expand the repertory and promote the Brazilian Berimbau and other African musical bows. As a researcher of Afro-Brazilian music and a long-term capoeira practitioner, I'm aware of the symbolic power that the Berimbau has for capoeiristas and Brazilians in general. I believe that your innovative work is done with utmost respect for tradition and tradition bearers. Berimbau music is a homage to US-American composer Steve Reich, who in 1972 composed the minimalist piece Clapping Music, inspired in a West African bell pattern. In it, he had 2 groups of performers, one clapping the basic pattern while another clapped the same pattern but shifting the start point gradually. In my piece, I follow this logic by rotating a slightly different pattern in both directions simultaneously, with tuned berimbaus forming various kinds of relationships among themselves. I had originally composed this piece for a berimbau orchestra that we have here at UC Davis, and I'm now honored to have it performed by Arcomusical. I hope you enjoy it.
is Jacob Lane, and I would like to share with you a little bit about my piece, The Details of a Place. I derived this title from seeking richness in what is present, and in this instance, the richness is the unique sound of the berimbau itself. The berimbau is an instrument with both many limitations, but also many distinct possibilities, and so my piece seeks to develop these unique sounds. I would not have been able to get to know these unique sounds in such a detailed way had I not been able to work extensively with the ensemble. Music is always a collaborative endeavor, and in this instance, my collaboration with Arcomusical helped me to make a piece that I would not have been able to make on my own. So I'm grateful for the time I shared with them, and I am also grateful to share this work with you. So thank you very much, and do enjoy.
Wretched was a difficult piece to compose. I've been a violist my whole life, and as such, the sounds that I'm used to hearing are sustained and melodic. The Berimbau, on the other hand, is percussive and traditionally not melodic, though of course groups like Arcomusical are putting in a lot of work to expand what is possible for the instrument, really. Nonetheless, I decided to eliminate pitch from my material and instead focus on different timbral possibilities of the Berimbau. Immediately, I was drawn to the Chiato effect, which closely resembles the sound of a snare drum, so I decided on a duet between the snare and the Berimbau to exploit this similarity. The title Wretched comes from The Wretched of the Earth, one of many groundbreaking anti-imperialist works by Frantz Fanon. I wanted to honor his legacy with this piece, and I'm grateful to Arcomusical for the opportunity to do so.
Hello, I'm Sarah Wald, the composer of Double Toil, Double Coil. My piece is for 4 Berimbaus, which are arranged in pairs. Berimbaus 1 and 2 have their strings tuned to A flat and B flat, while Berimbaus 3 and 4 are tuned to A flat and C. In each pair, there is one through-composed part, meaning that the musical material evolves freely, and one looping part that changes in 6 or 7 bar cycles. Berimbaus 1 and 3, the freely composed parts, are constantly churning out new material, while the looping parts, Berimbaus 2 and 4, weave around them, evolving more slowly and more regularly, though they can still be rather intricate and sometimes unpredictable. The idea of pairs and the way that the parts interact with each other led me to my title, Double Toil, Double Coil. Working with the ensemble in preparation for this concert was a fascinating and rewarding experience. Given that I was previously unfamiliar with writing for Berimbau, I appreciated the level of detail in our workshops and in the documentation Greg provided us composers. It's definitely a luxury for composers to be able to work through multiple drafts of a piece with the performers, to hear the performers play through those drafts and offer feedback. As a result of this extensive process, I felt very confident going into the final rehearsal. So, thanks to the quartet for your dedication and wonderful musicianship, and thanks to all of our listeners today for tuning in.
from a snowy day in Istanbul. I'm Orkun, and I've been working with Arcomusical since last summer. Since then, we met frequently, well, over Zoom of course, and I got the chance to learn about a new instrument and the culture surrounding it. I received lots of feedback on what I've written, both verbally and in the form of recordings, and whenever I had a question, somebody was there to help me. So I appreciate it, and I want to thank Arcomusical one more time for making this happen, especially in the times of COVID. Let me also say a few words about the piece I've written. Isto muito natural, translated as It's All Very Natural from Portuguese, is a quote from the lyrics of Desafinado by Antonio Carlos Jobim, which is one of my favorite bossa nova songs. In my piece, I use small melodic and harmonic fragments from this tune in a very subtle manner. You should also know that desafinado is usually translated as slightly off key, and I played around with this concept of being off key primarily by means of pressure strokes. Pressure strokes is a technique in which the stick is pressured into the wire of Berimbau to get a subtle pitch. My piece is organized in two sections. In the first section, you're going to hear harmonics, pressure strokes, and some other extended techniques. In the second section, you're going to hear a polyrhythmic setting of a gesture inspired by basic toques of Berimbau. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the concert.
my name is Paul Engle, and the piece that I wrote for Arcomusical is called Air of a D String. The title references a popular reduction of Bach's Third Orchestral Suite, nicknamed Air on the G string, because the arranger asked the violin to play the entire melody using a single string. The adjacent limitation of Air of a D string is that every tone in the piece can be defined as a harmonic overtone of a single D string. D, however, never occurs in the piece and exists as a phantom fundamental represented by the kashishi rattle that's employed like a toneless gong. The unifying element in the piece is possible thanks to Greg's fieldwork studying Berimbau that led to Arcomusical's practice of dividing the two segments of wire created by the bridge using low integer ratios. In earlier drafts, certain moments used a concept I stole from James Tenney's septet, where rhythmic periodicity reflects the ratios of the pitches present. I realized I could keep this consistent and expand on it by speeding up or slowing down the tempo in the same proportional relation that the fractal subset that are harmonically modulated to have with D. And there's probably a very small group of people that might be excited by that, but the result is a really challenging piece that asks a lot of these musicians individually and as an ensemble. Every time I brought them a new draft, I was always nervous that this would be the time they'd say, Paul, this is too complicated, you're asking us to do too much, write us a different piece. They're always down for it though, never batted an eyelash, and their focus always on solutions and their commitment to make the piece work. And certainly that their residency was so extensive and interactive was integral to that. I feel really lucky to have worked with such an open, ambitious, and talented ensemble, and I can't wait to hear the music that came out of their residency.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Arcomusical's UC Davis digital residency performance. We hope you enjoyed listening to these great new works by this group of 6 talented composers. Clearly, the UC Davis composition program is investing in its students and, as a result, making a positive difference in the contemporary music field. So we'd like to leave you with just one more piece from our repertoire. This is Cora, the first Berimbau sextet that I wrote back in 2015 for our first album project, Mea Mea. If you'd like to check out more of Arcomusical's recordings and videos, maybe pick up some Arco merch, and keep in touch with us, we'd be delighted if you'd visit our website at arcomusical.com. You can join our mailing list, and we'll keep you posted on all of our activities and how you can get involved. Thanks again to all of our UC Davis composer friends, Sarah, JD, Jacob, Joe, Orkin, and Paul, and to all the faculty and staff that supported this residency from A to Z. We simply couldn't do this without you. So here's Berimbau Sextet number 1, Cora. From all of us here at Arcomusical, thanks again to all of you for being here. We'll see you next time.